Good morning, Miami Art Studio, and welcome back to another episode of Moss News. I'm Vicky Perez. Today's Monday, November 16th, and Moss News starts right now.
Reporting from Miami Art Studio, welcome to Moss News.
Picture Day has been scheduled for November 18th and 19th for the physical students during their language arts class. On November 20th, a drive-thru will be held for online students. Students will remain in their vehicles until it's their turn, then will head down to the PAC to take their picture. Emails have been sent out with a link for online students to pick their time slot. Additionally, Moss will not be collecting any Picture Day money, and pictures can be found to order on the Herff Jones website. Remember, pictures must be ordered by the end of Picture Day. The 2020 presidential election was unlike any other, with ballots being counted for days on end and results slowly trickling throughout the week with the highest voter turnout in over a century. Here's Tuki Lambo with more information on this important moment in U.S. history.
As the 2020 presidential election begins to wrap up, we see that Joe Biden, the Democratic candidate, is projected to win against Donald Trump, the current president. With Biden winning the popular vote and him being the projected winner, we're here to tell you what went down and how this will affect the Electoral College on December 14th. Hi, I'm Tuki Lambo bringing you coverage on this year's presidential election. According to the election results by the Associated Press, Joe Biden has appeared to have won over Donald Trump, receiving 290 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 232. However, there seems to be much speculation coming from the Trump administration in terms of the recounting of certain states. Even though a candidate may win the popular vote, the election isn't called until the Electoral College votes, which is set to happen on December 14th. With this in mind, many are left to wonder the exact purpose of the Electoral College and how it has an impact on this year's election.
So the current situation as we stand right now, the week after the election, things always can change, but in reality, our election process is functioning virtually the same way it does every 4 years for presidential elections. We oftentimes think that, most election years, the president gets called on the night of, and that's it. But just because there is a projection by media organizations who are experts in their field doesn't make anything official. There are official processes that need to take place within each state, including Florida. You have to count your election day votes, your early votes, your absentee votes, your military ballots, which have up to a week to be received after election day. So we don't know what the vote total is in any state for at least a week after election day. Then, once you finish counting all those ballots, you have to conduct reviews and canvassing to ensure that your numbers actually make sense and appear accurate. And if you have close results, as you do in a number of states this year, candidates have the right to request or pay for recounts. This happened in 2016, this happened in the year 2000, it happens with a number of state and local races as well. Every year. A recount actually just took place in a local Florida Senate race this week. And there's no real reason to believe at this point that there would be any significant change in the election results, simply because state laws exist and we know the way this plane lands. And those states intend to and have and will carry out their elections the way they have for decades.
This year's election was a record-breaking one, receiving an all-time high of over 150 million total votes. This is the most amount of votes ever received in a popular vote, with the last record being held by the 2016 presidential election, which succumbed to a total of 130 million total votes. This means that 45% of the U.S. population voted in the 2020 election. The American public now eagerly waits to see what type of changes Joe Biden will make if he wins the Electoral College vote. However, time still remains for Donald Trump to make any lasting changes and implement regulations. Reporting for Moss News, this has been Tuki Lambo, signing out.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Moss News. Make sure to follow Miami Art Studio and Moss News on Instagram for the latest updates. With that said, I'm Vicky Perez, signing off.